Welcome to our deep dive into How to Think About Money by Jonathan Clements.
Mm.
We're going to unpack the most insightful points from this book
Yeah.
so you can walk away
guys
with
are-
practical wisdom about your finances.
It's a good one. This book really gets into the psychology of money and how to make it work for you instead of against you. It's not just about crunching numbers. It's about understanding your relationship with money.
Right. It's about rewiring those ingrained thought patterns.
Yeah.
So let's dive into Chapter 1, Buy More Happiness.
Clemens starts off with a question that's been debated forever.
Mm-hmm.
Can money buy happiness?
Big question.
Yeah.
The answer, as you might expect, is more nuanced than a simple yes or no.
Right.
Clements argues that while money can certainly contribute to happiness, it's not a guarantee.
Okay.
He uses the concept of the hedonic treadmill to illustrate this point.
Oh, that's a great analogy. It's like we're constantly running on a treadmill,
Yeah.
chasing after the next big
Oh.
purchase, thinking it'll bring us lasting joy. Exactly. We get a temporary high from buying that new car or gadget,
Mm-hmm.
but the novelty quickly wears off, and
Right.
we're back to where we started craving the next thing. Clements even cites research that shows happiness increases with income, but only up to a point.
Okay.
He says once you hit that level, more money doesn't translate into greater happiness.
Wait, there's a specific income level where happiness plateaus. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, according to the studies Clements cites,
Mm-hmm.
that magic number seems to be around $75,000 a year adjusted for inflation.
Okay.
Beyond that, the impact of additional income on your overall happiness is pretty minimal. Now, obviously, this is an average and individual experiences may vary,
Right.
but it's a thought-provoking concept, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
So if it's not about constantly acquiring more stuff, what does lead to lasting happiness?
Clemens suggests that we shift our focus from material possessions to experiences.
Okay.
Think about it. A vacation creates memories that last a lifetime, while a new phone, as Clemens puts it, is just a phone.
That makes a lot of sense. Experiences create stories and memories that we can cherish long after the event is over.
Exactly. And the research backs this up.
Yeah.
Experiences tend to foster a greater sense of connection, both with ourselves and with others, which is a key ingredient for happiness.
So instead of mindlessly chasing after the next thing, maybe we should be asking ourselves, what experience would bring me true joy and lasting memories? That's a powerful shift in perspective.
Absolutely. It's about aligning our spending with our values and prioritizing what truly matters to us. Now, moving on to Chapter 2, we're tackling a topic that's becoming increasingly relevant: bet on a long life.
People are living longer than ever before, which is fantastic news.
Yeah,
But it also presents some unique challenges, especially when it comes to financial planning.
absolutely. Clements points out that the traditional view of retirement endless leisure is becoming unsustainable both financially and emotionally. He says we need to rethink how we approach this stage of life.
Imagine retiring at 65 and then living for another 30 years. That's a whole lot of life to fund. And it's not just about the financial aspect, is it?
Right. It's also about finding purpose and staying engaged throughout those years. Clemens argues that a more dynamic retirement, maybe with part-time work, passion projects, or volunteering, can lead to a more fulfilling and financially secure life.
It's about reframing retirement as a new chapter filled with opportunities for growth and exploration rather than just a time to wind down.
Yeah, like that.
Now, Chapter 3 delves into the inner workings of our minds with a chapter titled Rewire Your Brain.
Ooh, yeah.
This chapter explores the psychological biases that often sabotage our financial decisions. Clements argues that our brains evolved in a world where immediate survival was the priority. Those instincts aren't always helpful when it comes to managing money in today's complex world, so we're basically wired to make financial blunders.
In a lot of ways, yes.
That's a bit disheartening.
Well, it's not all doom and gloom. The good news is that we can actually train our brains to make better money choices.
Okay, so there's hope.
There is definitely hope. Clements outlines several common biases that can trip us up, like present bias, where we prioritize immediate gratification over long-term goals.
Oh, I think we've all fallen victim to that one at some point. It's that I want it now impulse that can lead to overspending and regret later.
Exactly. And then there's loss aversion,
Mm-hmm.
which is the tendency to feel the pain of a loss more intensely than the pleasure of an equivalent gain.
Right.
This can lead to irrational decisions like holding on to losing investments for too long out of fear of realizing the loss.
Oh, yeah.
Clements puts it well when he says, selling a loser is emotionally difficult, but it can be financially rewarding.
So how do we overcome these biases? Is it even possible to rewire our brains after years of ingrained habits?
It's definitely possible, but it takes effort and awareness.
Okay.
Clemens suggests a few practical strategies like automating our savings so we don't even have to think about it,
Right.
and creating decision barriers like leaving credit cards at home to minimize impulse purchases.
Those are great tips. It's all about outsmarting those ingrained impulses. Now, Chapter 4 challenges us to think really, really big. This isn't just about budgeting. It's about taking a holistic view of our financial lives.
Yeah, I like this chapter a lot. Many people fall into what Clements calls paycheck dependency, where they're constantly living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to make ends meet. He writes, when you're always scrambling for money, it's hard to make smart decisions.
It's like being stuck on a hamster wheel, constantly running, but not really getting anywhere.
Exactly. Instead of focusing on individual financial decisions in isolation,
Okay.
Clements encourages us to develop a unified strategy
Mm-hmm.
where our mortgage investments, emergency fund, everything works together to achieve our long-term goals.
So it's about seeing the forest for the trees, not getting bogged down in the minutia of daily expenses.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that all your financial decisions are interconnected. He asks us, how does paying down debt affect your ability to invest? How can you leverage your assets to generate passive income? Think big picture strategy, not just individual tactics.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and lose sight of the bigger picture. Now, in Chapter 5, To Win, Don't Lose, Clements shifts the focus to protecting what we've earned. It's about playing defense with our money.
Yeah, it's a really interesting framing. He emphasizes the importance of minimizing losses, which can be just as crucial as maximizing gains.
Right.
Clements warns against overconfidence, especially in the realm of investing. He points out, most of us would be better off acknowledging our limitations and investing in a way that minimizes the damage we can do.
It's easy to get caught up in the hype and think we can beat the market, but as Clements points out, the odds are rarely in our favor.
Exactly. He advocates for a diversified approach to investing,
Mm-hmm.
spreading our risk across different asset classes like stocks, bonds, and real estate.
Yeah.
And he stresses the importance of having an emergency fund to cover unexpected expenses.
Those unexpected expenses always seem to pop up at the worst possible time, don't they? Having that cushion can really make a difference.
Absolutely. And Clements doesn't shy away from talking about insurance, which, let's face it, isn't the most exciting topic,
Right.
but it's absolutely essential.
It's about protecting ourselves from those catastrophic events that could wipe out our savings.
Right.
Nobody wants to think about those what-if scenarios, but it's better to be prepared than caught off guard.
For sure. Clements frames insurance as a way to buy peace of mind.
Okay.
He writes, insurance is the one purchase you hope you never have to use, but you'll be eternally grateful for it if you do.
I like that. Now, I know we've been focusing primarily on the financial aspects of the book, but Clements also delves into the emotional side of money.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He talks about how our feelings about money can often be rooted in our childhood experiences and societal messages.
Right. It's not just about spreadsheets and numbers. It's about our beliefs and our values.
Yeah. Exactly. He encourages us to examine those beliefs and challenge the ones that are no longer serving us. He writes, if you want to change your financial behavior, you need to change your thinking about money.
That's such an important point. Our thoughts and beliefs can have a huge impact on our actions, including how we manage our finances.
Absolutely. And one of the things that struck me about the book was Clements' emphasis on gratitude.
Yeah.
He argues that focusing on what we already have can be incredibly liberating.
It's easy to get caught up in that cycle of wanting more, always striving for the next level of material possessions.
Yeah.
But as Clements suggests, gratitude can be a powerful antidote to that sense of dissatisfaction.
He writes, when you appreciate what you have, you're less likely to make impulsive purchases or take unnecessary financial risks.
Yeah, it's a great reminder to be thankful for the abundance in our lives, even amidst the challenges.
Yeah.
Now, I know we've covered a lot of ground here, but there's one more chapter that I think is worth highlighting.
Yes. Chapter 6, Give Back. This chapter focuses on the importance of using our financial resources to make a positive impact in the world.
Clements argues that giving back isn't just about donating money, it's about aligning our spending with our values and supporting causes that we believe in.
Yeah, he talks about using our money as a vote.
Hmm.
He encourages us to think about how we can use our money to create a better world, whether it's through supporting local businesses, investing in sustainable companies, or donating to charities that resonate with us.
It's about recognizing that our financial decisions have ripple effects beyond our own lives.
Exactly. He writes, when you give back, you not only help others, you also enrich your own life. It's about finding that balance between taking care of ourselves and contributing to something larger than ourselves.
It's a beautiful sentiment.
Hmm.
It's a reminder that money can be a powerful tool for good, not just a means to an end. So as we wrap up this deep dive into how to think about money, what are some of the key takeaways that you think listeners should keep in mind?
I think the most important message is that financial success isn't just about the numbers. It's about creating a life that feels rich and fulfilling, both financially and emotionally.
It's about using money as a tool to support the things that truly matter to you. Your relationships, your passions, your well-being, and your sense of purpose. It's about recognizing that our relationship with money is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah. And Clements reminds us that it's okay to make mistakes along the way. What matters is that we learn from them and keep moving forward. He says the road to financial security is rarely straight. There will be bumps and detours along the way.
That's reassuring to hear, especially for those of us who might feel overwhelmed or intimidated by the complexities of personal finance.
Absolutely. Clements encourages us to approach our finances with a sense of curiosity and experimentation rather than fear or judgment.
He writes, "Don't be afraid to try new things and see what works best for you. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to managing money."
And if you're feeling lost or unsure, don't hesitate to seek guidance from a financial advisor or a trusted friend.
Sometimes having an outside perspective can help us see things more clearly and make more informed decisions.
Definitely. So, as we wrap up this deep dive into how to think about money, I hope you've gained some valuable insights that you can apply to your own financial life.
Absolutely. If there's one thing I want listeners to take away from this episode, it's that money is a tool, not a master.
Yeah, it's about empowerment.
It's up to us to decide how we want to use that tool to create a life that is both financially secure and personally fulfilling.
And as Clements so eloquently puts it, money is a means to an end, not an end in itself.
So go out there and use your financial resources to build a life that you truly love.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That's a great note to end on. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. Until next time, happy diving.